Hey, it's Michael, and this is the Kintsugi Podcast. I'll be back in a minute with today's conversation about resilience. But first, if you're interested in creating a better life, having a better career, please visit kintsugipodcast.com and grab your free workbook on how to have a better life. In it, you'll discover tips and routines so you can find the energy for the things and the people who matter most, so you can create a better tomorrow and create the life and career you desire. We've been going through puzzles, jigsaw puzzles to be specific, like crazy since we began sheltering in place due to the coronavirus. And it's helped me realize how much I love puzzles. But when things get going, when I hop on my hamster wheel, just like you might hop on your hamster wheel, even though we know the importance of grabbing a PBR, our kind, the pause, breathe, and reflect kind, I still go there from time to time. And when I'm there, I start to believe I don't have time to do a jigsaw puzzle, which is just crazy because all you have to do is put it out and chip away at it over time. But as human beings, we're not necessarily the most rational of creatures. We're crazy in a good way, and that makes us perfectly imperfect as human beings. I first fell in love with puzzles because it was a challenge. I love a good challenge. I know you do as well. But if you're into puzzles, you'll also know this is true. There's a calming effect. There's a peacefulness. As you immerse yourself into solving the puzzle, time seems to fly by as you're creating the picture on the box. I also love that about puzzles, the creation of something. Yes, it's just the picture on the box, but it gives me a sense of optimism, of hope, especially in this given moment in time. We're creating something, just like we can create a better tomorrow. Out of a whole bunch of puzzle pieces, we can build a better tomorrow through all the different puzzle pieces we see in front of us, given this moment in time. So for all those reasons, the challenge, the creativity, the calming, how time seems to fly by when you immerse yourself in it, those are all awesome sauce reasons why puzzles rock, in my humble opinion. But I also love puzzles because they're a lot like life. Let's start with awareness. It's a key to a better life, a better career, and solving a jigsaw puzzle. That's why we turn over every piece before we start putting it together, so we can see what's in front of us. We look in the mirror, if you will. And if you throw a little visioning in or manifesting, we know where we're going because of the picture on the box. It's the first step of the SOP, the standard operating procedure in solving a puzzle. But we don't do enough of this awareness building as human beings when we try to create the lives we desire or the careers that we desire. Instead, we get on the hamster wheel and we just go spinning. We're busy being busy. We believe we have to do more to be more, which is not true. And we forget that our emotional intelligence, which some would argue is more critical than IQ when it comes to creating success, building that career and life we desire, well, we can't have emotional intelligence without self-awareness. But once we get there, in terms of solving a puzzle, when we flip every piece over so we see all that we have in front of us, well, we can begin working on the puzzle. We can work on the perimeter. So we need this awareness too in life to start working on our perimeter. And even though it's the edge of the puzzle, at least this is how I tackle a puzzle. I look at it as our core. Also boundaries, because we need boundaries in life. But a strong core is essential. Essential in helping us see what others see in us. So we have appreciation for who we are. It helps us build resilience so when we fall down, we can get back up again, that we're stronger than our negative self-talk. Without some boundaries, without a strong core or perimeter, it's hard to reach the vision that we want for our lives and our careers. It's hard to fulfill our passion. And this piece in particular, after a little bit of awareness building, was key to helping me make my last bad day my last bad day. This is what I worked on in the hospital, and I continue to work on today because once it's set, you're not necessarily done. Each day, I try to build a little bit more awareness in terms of how I'm showing up. I try to strengthen my core, reestablish my boundaries. It's what's helpful in creating a better life and a better career, and also solving that jigsaw puzzle. But once we have that awareness, we have that strong core framed out, then it's time to start connecting the pieces of our puzzle. Now, some come easy. You can put a whole bunch of pieces together right away. You think you're going to fly through the puzzle. But like life, you can't fly through life and you can't fly through creating or solving a puzzle. Some we think when we have that puzzle piece in our hand, it must go here. We're so determined. Sometimes we force it into the puzzle and it doesn't fit. But when we can grab our PBR, again, the pause, breathe, and reflect kind, and shift our perspective, maybe look at the puzzle a little bit differently, look at life a little bit differently, we can see that puzzle piece go somewhere else. And other times, it's just helpful to take a break, to walk away from the table, to get off of our hamster wheel and return later. When that happens, it's like approaching our puzzle and our life with a beginner's mind. And if we have others around us, some would say a Peloton, I would say a Peloton, hopefully you would as well. It can help us solve our problem or our puzzle faster because everyone's coming at it from a different perspective. We can see more when we have a strong Peloton behind us. And sometimes, like with a couple of the puzzles we've done, you have too many puzzle pieces that don't serve you. So sometimes you have to get rid of some puzzle pieces. Some would say, Marie Kondo your puzzle. Marie Kondo your life, especially if they're not bringing out the best in you. All this sounds a lot like life, doesn't it? Sometimes life is easy. Other times we force it. But when we take a step back, we breathe and connect with others, even the most impossible of things can seem possible. And here's the coolest thing. When we're finished, what we built doesn't look anything like the flawless picture on the box. Our puzzle and our life, well, has a whole bunch of wrinkles, a whole bunch of scars. It makes it perfectly imperfect, just like Kintsugi. It makes it actually more beautiful. Just like our lives, just like our careers, just like who we are as human beings. And that's the really cool thing about puzzles. And given this moment in time, we can choose so many labels for what we're going through. We can give this moment in time so many different meanings. We can look at it as if it's happening to us, or we can look at it like it's happening for us. I still believe we can hold, again, multiple thoughts in our head at the same time. We can be optimistic and anxious. We can be hopeful and worried. We can see the pain, the suffering, the loss, and the uneven playing fields in today's society, as well as seeing the opportunity that we all have in creating a better tomorrow when we get through this. Even though there are some days, some moments within the days where we don't feel like we're getting through this. But to get there, it's time to look in the mirror. I think this pause button that we all have in front of us, at least most of us have, is a gift where we can look in the mirror. We can see what God, the universe, maybe Mother Nature sees that we can't see. What we need, maybe what they see in us, is we need more awareness. We also need a strong core and some boundaries, so we can stay resilient. Because I've shared this in the past. This whole thing that we're going through, it's not a marathon. It's a triathlon. It's long and it will come in phases. And finally, I think this moment can be a defining moment for us when it comes to authenticity. That is, we are the same person at home as we are at work, as we are with our friends, as we are in our community. And saying this, sharing this with you right now, I will say that I'm not perfect at this. I've developed a few authenticity wrinkles or scars throughout my career. That said, this moment can help us see the beauty in our imperfection. We can toss out all those IG, Instagram filters and looking through life through that filter. We can maybe stop listening to those folks who are peddling, not like peddling a bicycle, but selling flawlessness. And maybe we can stop listening to influencers who shouldn't probably be influencing us and get the stuff done that truly matters. And maybe through all this too, we can solve the puzzle on how to shift from being human doers to human beings. Now that puzzle is probably a little bit bigger than a 1,000-piece puzzle. It's going to take a little bit more time. But the impossible is possible with awareness, a strong core, some boundaries, and having the right Peloton. As always, thanks for listening. If you have a question about this conversation about resilience or really anything else, please visit KintsugiPodcast.com and leave a question there, and I will do my best to answer it as quickly as possible. And while you're there, you can check out the Paceline Leadership Academy. It's a perfect way to develop your leadership skills, but also your core and your self-awareness and create that career and life you desire. I like to think it can help the members of the Leadership Academy become wealthy, starting from the inside out. So until next week, please subscribe if you haven't already. or share the Kintsugi Podcast conversations about resilience with someone in your Peloton. And please stay healthy. And of course, as always, have fun storming the castle.